Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is the NDA podcast, episode 92, coming for you with week 4 coverage. We're going over all the week 4 games that happened this week, including, sadly, my game and Wex's game. That reminds me, I am joined here by Kev and Wex. Guys, big sad. I'm not going to lie.
Sad.
Yeah.
The tables have turned a little bit, don't you think? It's a nice feeling this week.
God. Honestly, if we could go over my game last and then spend 2 minutes on it, not even, I would be appreciative.
According
I don't
to
think that's
schedule, I believe you're coming up really soon. So
yeah. All right. Without getting in my feels too much, let's go into the first game that we want to cover. It's the South Jersey Swoobats versus Granite State Gravel Rocks. We have Quartz v. you, Kev.
The rightful game of the week from last week.
I can't even argue.
My prediction was correct. I backed myself to get the 2-0 victory over Quartz, and we came through. To be honest, Quartz is in the mud. I kind of feel bad for Quartz. He's in the mud. He just made some questionable plays that didn't help his cause at all. When he maxed Moltres and clicked max darkness and just set off my Defiant boost, I was like, Quartz, what are you doing? Come on, dude. I don't know. I just felt bad. He kind of let me get game 1, and then game 2 kind of just I don't know. Game 2 kind of just happened as well. I could have got some more differential in my favor game 2.
Yeah.
Game 1, I should have switched out on a hail kill to Thunderous, which was dumb. But it is what it is. We take the 4-2 victory.
I mean, you're nitpicking. Okay, you're nitpicking the one differential. For some reason, I don't believe it's gonna matter. But yeah, I mean, you played well. You had a good matchup. I mean, anytime you can have Behemoth Bash into Kyurem White and Ninetales and have that threat, you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna have a really, really good time. I'm not even sure if you had to use it. I don't remember specifically, but it's just, even the threat of it, it's just so severe, and Kyurem White isn't necessarily bulky. You can make the argument it is frail. So, yeah, it's just bad matchup for Quartz. Honestly, seeing him at 0-4 already after finishing second in the season last season, I don't know. I don't know how do you remedy this team. I thought taking off Mewtwo was going to be the savior, but I mean, you switch one frail restricted for another frail restricted, and I mean, you paired it nicely with Ninetales, so you can get Aurora Veil. That's all nice and well, but even then, it's a little rough. It's a little rough.
Yeah, I mean, what happened to Wex last season? Wex had to make transactions, made them kind of early, just because I mean, you have to change something early, or it's going to be too late. And even with the transactions, Wex didn't win the first week. So, I mean, the season's not over. I mean, Blizzard Sam can go Burr, and Moltres is a highly used mon. I think if he gets it, he pairs it well with Raichu or something, and just use Ditto properly. I think his team can be a nightmare. I prepped really hard for Ditto this week. So it's annoying. It's just so annoying to have to prep for, because it's hard to prep for because you don't know what it wants to switch into. You can guess.
I mean, when you have Zamazenta, it wants to switch into Zamazenta. That's the main one.
Yeah, we tried to cover it, and luckily I didn't have to deal with it taking Zamazenta. So
He took Thunderous, right?
He took Thunderous in the second game.
Yeah.
The MVP of this game was Klefki, and setting up screens, and his team is very special, to be fair. He has 2 more transactions, I believe, right? Maybe
I haven't even looked.
Bringing a physical attacker in there somewhere. Could be, yeah, he's got 2. Bringing a physical attacker in there somewhere could be very beneficial to his team.
Yeah.
So.
Also, I want to mention, like, I think next week you'll have a better chance to bounce back. It is the battle of the basement between Gummy v. him, so it's. I mean, that's not even. I'm not even trying to be mean. Like, they're 13 and 14 respectively. Like, that's.
I mean,
that's
right
the
now-
basement. You can't get much lower than that. We're not going to make a 15th for being 0 and 10 at the end of the season. Like, that's.
like, I'm just saying this. I started my redemption arc last season after beating Riolu, who got his revenge this week on me. I beat Riolu in, I think it was week 5, was it? No, week 6 last season. But me and Riolu were like cemented at the bottom of the table, and that's what propelled me forward. So whoever wins that game next week, like, and easily.
Saying the winner of this game's going forward.
I mean, it'll definitely boost them high. But I mean, at the moment, if Quartz wins, say 2-0, the highest he can go is, I think, 12th. Or he'll just leapfrog Gummy, actually. But still, a win is a win. And in this league, all you need is a few extra points here and there. And if Gummy wins, though, Gummy can easily jump up into 10th into the playoff spot straight away.
Yeah, he has a good shot of actually still making playoffs, considering, you know, his 2 of his losses have been going to 3 sets. You know, Quartz is just getting swept every single time.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate to see someone who played well last season come back and then, you know, throw up a stinker for the first 4 weeks. So I don't know. I don't know if it's just strategy or I think it's mostly just draft here, but
it's an extended season, though, so I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah, you have a lot of time to come back. I mean, you can easily.
We're not even halfway through. We're not even halfway through.
Yeah, exactly.
One more week and we're halfway through. But, yeah, no, I like I said before, I think 3 and 7, 4 and 6 is enough to get you into 10 if you have the points for it. But Quartz is in that one spot where he would much rather have 4 wins than 3 because of the lack of points that he has already. He just needs to start getting wins. No matter what, I think wins is going to be his only way he makes it into playoffs at this point. It's not looking very good.
You just say wins are the only way he makes it into the playoffs?
Wins.
Like, no shit.
Well, no, you can because if he is tied with wins with anybody, I think he is going to be on the bottom, and that could cost him a playoff spot. I think he needs one more win than the person who has the 10 seed. So realistically, I think he needs to get 4 wins because I think 3 wins is going to be enough to make playoffs, like just barely by points. Wins,
yeah, but
points.
because of his differential and everything, he's going to need that leg up.
Yeah, that's why I said he needs wins more than points.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I can see that anyway. I suppose we can move on after that.
Yeah.
As I said to my match against Riolu, where didn't really go as planned. One turn, decided it all. Decided to click Sleep Powder into Electric Terrain. I clicked Energy Ball into the Crook, I win. But, you know, so, lost. Overall, Riolu played really well. Nothing against him. He got the revenge from last season, as I said. It's his first win in, a season and a half. So.
That is true. He has not won in the regular season until now. He didn't win. Did he not win last season?
No, he finished 0-8.
Ooh.
Again.
I mean,
well, good for him for getting the dub.
Now he's firmly in the playoff race, in level on wins with the current 10 seed in Mac. Overall, the match was a bit messy. I felt pretty comfortable after the first game because I was like, okay, my plan is working. I don't really need to change much up here. And then Crook kind of went burr in game 2 and just destroyed me.
Yeah, Crook really did. Moxie and was it weakness policy? Yeah, it was, right? Moxie
no. I don't think
it was. Because he procced it with Ice Shard with Delibird.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like to see that.
Delibird was pretty neat brain. Now, like I would say, like
mental a lot though.
Yeah. It killed itself in every set. I mean,
yeah, it runs Memento, Fake Out, like Ice Shard proc a weakness policy and then like icy wind to control speed.
Yeah.
So that's all it does. But it's not terrible. It really isn't terrible. I've seen people run it.
I mean, it worked against me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, weakness policy proc in Moxie. That thing just had some damage. For sure. That's something you can't. I mean, you can prep for it, but like it's a long shot to call.
It's one thing. Like, could I have envisioned him bringing Delibird? Maybe, but would I have envisioned him doing that? No, especially not weakness policy Crook. If anything, weakness policy probably would have assumed Tor, maybe. If anything, oh, even then,
his team doesn't have a great weakness policy candidate other than Crook, maybe. So
maybe Kingdra. Maybe.
Yeah. If anything, I probably would have thought that Life Orb or Choice Band would have been in Crook. But no, it was really, really well played.
And you adjusted game 3 and just made
one bad play.
Fatal error. You tend to do that a lot, Wex. You always forget.
I swear I did last season. I faked out in Psychic Terrain last season, I think, or I tried to get a burn in Misty Terrain when I didn't have Finny last season, so that wouldn't have been it. I probably did it in singles. But,
Wex, if it makes you feel any better, I tried to do a prankster move into a dark type yesterday. So, to be fair, I was already in the mud, so I was just kind of clicking buttons at that point, just hoping for it to end. But yeah,
I mean, unless you guys have anything else to say on my match, that's not pretty much all I have to say.
GG's to Riolu. Finally adjusted well and caught a dub, even if Wex had a brain fart. He played well, especially game 2, for sure. So, GG's.
Alright, I guess it's time for me to read my obituary. Alright, yeah, I had a match against Ryder. And yeah, I got smacked like it was week 1 of season 2. It was awful. It was awful.
Don't forget the playoff season 2.
After literally, after turn 1, I knew he knew that I was eject button. I know it probably looked good that season, but I was shocked that he actually went for that sort of safer play, because every single week prior to this I've been running Mental Herb. So I was just shocked that he decided he wanted to go into it with a taunt first turn. It worked. He predicted
me
over. He predicted Meowstic running eject button to get rid of Giratina Max. Which at first my first reaction was, okay, who told him? Who was I prepping with that told him? Because this is ridiculous. I haven't run this. I had Switcheroo Whimsicott for 2 seasons. I think I ran it once and it didn't work and I never used it again. As a coach, I never tried to use it that effectively. I know Will has used it pretty decently, but with the Whimsicott, like I said before. But I had never, in 2 seasons of having Whimsicott, I think I had it once, right? And I don't think I even used it properly. So I try to use it this one more time, and I don't think I'm ever using it again, because whenever I decide, oh yeah, this is a good week for eject button, everyone's gonna be like, okay, let's do taunt this turn, and we're gonna protect everything, and we're gonna get 3 protects off in a row just to make sure I can't get. Okay, yeah, that makes sense to me. And then I'm going to proc my own weakness policy with a +3 because floral healing or triage, whatever. Whatever. I'm mad. Yeah, that was the first turn, and after that I kind of just tilted off the face of the earth, because there's nothing I could do. I could click Shadow Ball, but that's not doing any damage, and none of my other mon did any damage, because for some reason I went all special. I think it was because I was scared of Incineroar, but I mean, if I can't do any damage because of Snarl and Snarl and Snarl and Snarl, I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm down 1 by Intimidate. I don't really think so. Especially when he's running Assault Vest instead. I literally just can't do any damage. So I think because of that, not bringing Rillaboom was probably my mistake this week. I needed to bring it at least to threaten it. Maybe I get a different lead if I bring that in the back with maybe a Slurpuff instead of having the Pelipper and Seismitoad pairing that I had that I never brought. Yeah, it was rough. It wasn't fun. I suffered.
That is why Incineroar showed this week why it is the number one Pokemon in usage all the fucking time. Yeah. You wanted to bring special attacks because Intimidate well. It's got Parting Shot and it's got Snarl and it just takes your attack down so low. And
it walls everything.
It ran Assault Vest this week against all your special attackers, so it just took no damage. And then next to Comfey, he could just keep healing it. And it just stood there.
Do you know how much pain that causes me? Comfey just... Oh, man. That's what I wanted to target it, immediately, just to get rid of it. I don't care if something died on my side. If I could get rid of the floral healing that it brought with Triage, making it always going off before I could do any damage, because you can't one-shot Giratina. You can't. Even if you have weakness policy proc, if it's maxed, you can't one-shot it. So if you double into it, congrats. But if you need a super effective move, but it has weakness policy, and I don't know, it was such a bad game for me. Credit to Ryder for bringing what he brought and doing what he did. I mean, obviously it was the exact play and the exact team he needed to bring. Yeah, just rough. Just overall rough. Maybe if I just led Dialga like I usually do and just max Steel Spike into that fucker while putting up maybe or taunting myself into that Comfey slot, maybe then I have a good idea or a better chance. But I wanted to switch it up. I wanted to do something different, and I got punished for it severely.
Worked well in prep too. I didn't taunt Comfey. I didn't even know Comfey got taunt. It was a good. He
also ran Ally Switch, which was incredibly toxic. I just wanted to point that out. It was just how can we piss him off? Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're going to predict something that he's never done before and get it right. We are going to use Ally Switch at least once just to let him know that I have it, and then we are also going to stall out his max by being super defensive, and then maxing afterwards. And just making his Pokemon absolutely useless, so he has no comeback potential ever. Yeah, and it works. So very sad. I think he's still trying to get revenge for season 2. I think we're even now. I think you're 3-1 against me now. It's okay. You can stop beating me like I'm some drunken dad's child. Please, I get it. I understand. Just give me a chance. I said my piece. I'll get off my soapbox now.
Wex, did you catch the game?
Well, I wasn't around for it, but I looked at it after, and yeah, it was kind of a bit of a bloodbath. I'm not gonna lie. Well, as we said before, Giratina just kind of went burr, and it's probably one of the. I know it's a B tier, but like Justin said, it's going to be very difficult to kill. Or not an A. I said B tier, did I? I meant A tier.
Yeah, A tier. If Ryder gets his team going, it's looking like Giratina could potentially, or Incineroar could potentially be transaction of the year.
I would say the Incineroar was more valuable, way more valuable, especially in the game 2. Yeah. It's S tier. That's the only problem. It's S tier. If it was A tier, it'd be picked up every single season. But it's S tier. People want the restricted, and then they want a good setup mon, or they want something that's strong. It's rough. It's such a hard thing to play against. But I think Giratina being only A tier is a crime. Oh man, it's a crime. It should be S tier. But here we are.
Yeah.
You can argue Comfey S tier as well, but it's just it is reasonably frail and has a lot of it can be taunted fairly easily. So yeah,
very true.
I think we move on.
Move on to things that aren't as depressing for us. Well, actually, no, it's equally as depressing because as me and Justin lost our unbeaten record, Rooster maintained his against Griff somehow.
All right, now I have a problem with this.
Justin's gonna go on another rant.
I'm gonna go on a little soliloquy here, and
okay.
Griffin, bud, you're not gonna like what I have to say. I'm just be straight up. You threw that one. You could have won 2-0. You could have won 2-0. I'm looking at the replay right now. I have it up. You had a turn where Kling Klang was below 20%, and the turn before you saw it did 31% with Glacial Lance on your side, right? But you decided you're going to throat chop into the Calyrex. Now, Calyrex is super frail. You could Glacial Lance, and that thing is probably down to 1. But you know for a fact it's probably going to do more than 50 because of how frail it is. Instead of going for the Glacial Lance to avoid any sort of possible shenanigans from Kling Klang, like trick rooming your trick room, you decided you're going to single target and focus the Calyrex. That was your mistake. If you didn't do that and you click Glacial Lance, you win the game. You win game 2. You beat Rooster 2-0. But okay, that's mistakes were made. So let's move to game 3. Game 3. You had a situation where you had Amoonguss out in the field, the slowest thing on the field because Calyrex is faster, and you had a full HP, and this is after scouting the Focus Sash the last game. You had full HP Calyrex Shadow on the other side. You know you survive in Astral Barrage. You found that out game 1, right? Closely, you survived, but you survived nonetheless. Now you have a light screen up. You have Rabombi with Pollen Puff and Glacial Lance. The play is always to double into the Calyrex Shadow and then clicking Glacial Lance. If you're scared of not having enough speed, you do it the next turn, and at that point, you're at +4 because not only did you take the super effective Astral Barrage that procs your weakness policy, you also killed 2 Mons in the process because Rabombi would be faster if you Pollen Puff, therefore you're at +4 raised attack. I don't care what comes out. You're killing it. It doesn't matter if it's resisted or not. You're probably killing it, right? Instead, you decided to speed swap, which was absolutely useless because Rabombi is not faster. You're in the middle of the speed tier. You can't be faster than Calyrex, and you can't be slower than the Amoonguss. Instead, you speed swap with your own Calyrex, which is absolutely pointless. And I'm at a loss for words. I don't know. I don't understand how you can believe something that has base power only heals your own Pokemon. I am actually... I'm dumbfounded. I don't understand. I mean, it's in the wording of the move. Pollen Puff, base power, the description. And you decided... Not only that, what you could have done is, if you thought it was a healing move, you could have clicked Pollen Puff into your own Mon to possibly live another Astral Barrage the next turn. Instead, what you did was you speed swap, which does absolutely nothing. It does absolutely nothing. I'm going to repeat this. It does absolutely nothing.
Griffin, he just did it one turn too early. Before he... I mean,
even then, Regigigas has slow start, so he's probably faster. And what's in the back? You already killed off the Weezing, Amoonguss, and Calyrex. Okay, sure, you have Kling Klang, which you might want to be faster than, but then it's Munchlax or Regigigas. You're faster than Munchlax. I don't think anything's fucking slower than it, to be honest. And then Regigigas is slow start. So you're probably faster than that, too. You don't even have to do that. It's just... Oh, man.
Pikamuki's pretty slow. I don't know what's slower.
That's fine, Justin. That's fine. You play Rooster next week. You can knock him out from undefeated and then make me the top seed again. We got this.
I know. It's just. I feel like, and maybe I am ripping a little too hard on the Griffin here, and I probably am. But I mean, this dude could be 3-1. This dude could easily be 3-1. But man, just small things like that. Just. A lack of information here, a misplay there, and now you lost 2-1 instead of winning 2-0. It's frustrating. I want to see this guy do good. I want Griffin to do well in this league. I want to see him, make playoffs and make a strong playoff push because I think he has the team to do it. I mean, Calyrex Ice is super strong, but he just consistently makes these little misplays here and there, and it's... Oh, man, I wish... Listen, Griffin, honestly, if you need somebody to help prep you, I will happily help you. I will happily tell you what I believe is the best thing, and I'll give you information here and there, and I'll definitely point you in the right direction if you want it. Like, I am willing to give you anything you need, but I don't want to see something like this happen again. Like this is, you had two games where you could have easily have won. I mean, it doesn't matter who it's against. You were in a position where you had essentially 100% chance of winning. And, well, I wouldn't say game 2. Game 3, you had a 100% chance of winning. And you threw it. And it's frustrating for me, and I'm sure it's frustrating for everybody else. It doesn't matter if it's against Rooster or not. It doesn't matter. You had 100% chance of winning, but you didn't recognize that you had 100% chance of winning. Just take your time, look at what you can do, make sure you know your moves that you're putting on your mons and what they can do. And I promise you, something like this won't happen again. Honestly, just if you want help prepping, let me know. I'm willing to help. Just, oh man, seeing that play, I wanted to smash my head through a wall. I did. It was rough. All right, I think I'm good. I think I'm done.
Wex, you don't know what to say now.
I was gonna say welcome back to episode 6 of Justin ranting for 30 minutes.
It wasn't that long.
No, I'm just kidding. I think there's been 30 minutes so far, roughly. This episode so far.
I could have went and made myself breakfast and came back, and Justin could have still been talking about it.
I mean, I just went outside and mowed the lawn.
Cured cancer, stuff.
Cured cancer just in the meantime, but anyway. All in all, I mean, Rooster could easily be 3-1 right now. But
he could easily be 1-3 right now. I just want to point that out.
I actually meant to say 1-3, but my head is just messed up.
And then someone like Will would be like undefeated.
But right now, the only person who has a strong case saying that they should be 4-0 is Will, and he's 2-2. Like, me and Justin, like we're Will's losses, and
I probably deserve to be 2-2 at this point. Yeah.
Same here, and like Will is just sitting here like in 7th place, like, I'm going to kill all of you above me.
I played Will this week. I'm not looking forward to it.
Singles.
He's gonna be on you top 4. He's gonna finish there.
Yeah, man is coming for blood this season. But you know what? Rooster is the last person who's left undefeated. Props to him. I mean, some wins may not be the prettiest, but a win's a win at the end of the day. Like in football, all goals count. So even the tap-ins.
Speaking of Will.
Yeah, I think we move on. Move on. Germ v. Will. How did you guys feel about that match?
I feel like I wish I backed Will more than I. I don't know what my predictions have been so bad.
Your predictions are terrible.
All of our predictions were really bad last week, but mine have been very bad the past 2 weeks.
Mine were okay.
I mean, you won. We'll get to that later. Yours look okay because the rest of us did really bad.
Literally.
But yeah, Will kind of just dominated. It was kind of nice to see. Will's finally getting out of this RNG hacks.
Yeah.
And he's finally dominating, which is cool to see.
Will wins and there's no rocks. We know his weakness. Use it against some people.
Please, guys, Stealth Rocks. It's not a joke anymore. You have to use it. It's good chip. You proc whatever Focus Sash Mom comes out in the field, if it comes out second. You destroy Volcarona. I don't see a downside. I honestly, like, it could be decent.
But honestly, Will's team is so scary. It's so scary. Who let this man get win for Cotton Eternus?
I was talking about how good Blastoise is. His G-Max form is so slept on because like you see Cinderace and Venusaur and all the Sun teams and all the good things they do in S tier. Blastoise, he gets Fake Out, Shell Smash, Water Spout, and his max move does the same thing that Charizard and Venusaur's does. It gets really good coverage, very bulky, can run physical or special, Blastoise is slept on, and he's like Germ maxed what's it called? Right in front of Chinchino, right in front of a low health Blastoise, and Blastoise got off the Shell Smash and was able to just click buttons. Like they dominated this week, and fair play to Will. It's a good mon.
I will take full responsibility for the win this week because suggesting Beware last week, and as Will said in our guest chat here on the podcast,
it was a misplay.
Sure. No, as Will said on our in our guest chat on the podcast over here. Not gonna lie, guys, brought Beware that game solely because of podcast. So taking full responsibility for the win. Game 2, Beware just kind of went burr. Like I understand, like at face value, you look at this and you think, Whimsicott Beware. What's Beware gonna do? I don't know. But in the back, you could have something like Blastoise or Eternus or God knows what in the back. Whimsicott's going to help them do whatever it wants. Whimsicott's going to click Tailwind, so Blastoise just goes burr against everything like it did in Game 1. So at face value, Whimsicott looks like, okay, get rid of this thing straight away. The problem with that is that Will also had Beware on the field. He just set up a sword stance with Tailwind in the back. I'm pretty sure it became faster than lots of stuff on the field. I don't know if it outsped the Chinchino or not. I can't remember. Probably did, but it just clicked Max Knuckle and went burr all the way. Yeah, I think
I just remember.
Right.
Wait, you finish?
Oh yeah, but that's pretty much all I had to say. I'll take full responsibility to win.
I just remember when Beware was Will's last pick, I think, and he left it with me, and he goes, "Yeah, just give me I just want a Swords Dance mod, so I can click Swords Dance to start kill things." And then week 4, game 2, it did exactly what he drafted it for.
Yeah.
I mean, next to Whimsicott and Volcarona, Whimsicott is the ultimate support mon, and then Volcarona comes in, offers good damage, but also offers redirection. And a lot of things on Will's team can thrive in that. As we've seen, things like Aegislash, who don't ever do anything usually, do well. And Beware this week. So,
even Blastoise from Game 1 with Shell Smash.
Blastoise is insane next to Whimsicott and Volcarona. So, Will's team's a threat, and I don't look forward to playing it next week, especially because I don't think I've ever beat Will in anything before. So,
in the words of Harrison in Game 2, this man has a strong bear, and I don't think anyone said this week resonates more with me right in that sense there by Harrison. This man has a strong bear. Indeed he does. Indeed he does.
Shout out Harrison. Justin, you got a rant to go on about this game or no?
No rant. I mean, Will's doing exactly what I thought he would. I mean, he's going to be tearing up the league. I mean, he just won 2-0 against a respectable player. Like Germ is no joke. He has Zacian.
He's played well up until this point.
Yeah, it's just literally Will could be 4-0 right now. If he doesn't get hacks to oblivion, he could be 4-0. I mean, you could make a case, Gummy could be 1-3 or 2-2 right now because he's been hacked quite a bit. 30% protect, and then the Kangaskhan with the body slam paralysis, just automatic. It's 100%, I think. I have to double check the stats. I think it's 100%. It might be 103% because I think he just paralyzed something in the back of his party that he didn't even bring.
Gummy's in the chair now.
Yeah, Gummy. Somehow he paralyzed the coach. It was pretty weird. But yeah, no, you can make a case for Will to be 4-0, and that's like no joke. Like, and he would have earned that 4-0. Like, he wouldn't have, fell his way. Like, that's the difference, I feel like, with some of the other teams. Like, Rooster, like we said before, he could be 1-3 right now. Not through any fault of his own, but just because he's been in positions where other players have maybe done the wrong move, like not click Tailwind or not doubled into Kylerric Shadow. Or, he got, it's the game we play, so he can't be too mad, but he got like a double protect against Gummy. That was very, very crucial for his win. So you can make the case, he should be like, or not should be, but he could be 1-3, right? Will, it's the other way around. He's the one getting hacked. He's the one getting unlucky, and he's sitting at 2-2, and it's a strong 2-2. I mean, every loss he's had has gone to 3 games. So he's he, like I said before, he could. I mean, not could. He will finish. Get it? He will. His name's anyway. He will finish.
And that's enough for this week's podcast. Thank you for joining us.
No, he will finish top 4. I guarantee you that. I mean, his team is very, very nice. He has a lot of depth. He brings the C tiers often. He has strong B tiers. His A tiers are great. His S tiers are great. Like, I love the Whimsicott. Always gonna have respect for it. So, it's a good time to be well. It's a good time to be well. And on that note, unless you guys have anything else to say, I think we move from that game over to Mao v Mac. Mao v Mac. How do you guys how'd you like that game? It's pretty good. I mean, I enjoyed it.
My favorite games to watch this week. I caught that one live, and Mac just, I don't know. I prepped like 10 minutes before the match was supposed to start. Mac goes, "Yo, can I send you my paste? Like, give me any insight?" And we went over it and had some good ideas. Like, he was really worried about, I guess, because I don't know, from Mac's viewpoint, when he's not planning on running Trick Room, I guess he was scared of getting outsped by things. But so, like, he was scared about Tailwind Aerodactyl because that would just outspeed his D-Dan Zekrom. And but like in hindsight, like, do you bring Tailwind to a Trick Room battle? Like, I don't know. So we had fake out Ndidi because obviously Aerodactyl's not in psychic terrain, so you can just fake out Aerodactyl and not let Tailwind go, and then you start clicking buttons with Zekrom. So that was one thing we did, and then he didn't even bring Aerodactyl. And Mac, I forget did Mac win the? I suck at this.
Mac won the second game.
Yeah, Mac won the second game.
Yeah.
Mal just
notice how I said second game and not set, by the way.
Sure.
Listen, I'm gonna push this until everyone agrees. I'm talking to you, Gummy. I know you're against it.
It's not important. It's really not important.
No, it's not. But I want to make it important.
But yeah, Mal kind of just, especially in game 3, a little misprep by Mac. After he didn't EV Zekrom to outspeed Naganadel even after a Dragon Dance. He EV'd it to outspeed Cinderace, and Naganedel's faster by like 1 or 2. Base speed. I forget off the top of my head. Let's see. Wrong team. By 2. So he was just a little slower than the Naganadel, and it was able to do big damage with the Mac. I think he maxed at game 3 and Max Wormwood. I mean, it's physical too, so you lowered its attack. It was a good bring for sure from Mal. Big things. Ndidi Riolu for Mac was like, it's such good support for a physical mon. Redirection, Dragon Dance, and then coaching, just it's kind of broken, and Mal handled it really well. Fair play to Mal. Things like Dedenne came in and did really well, and obviously Necrozma, his powerhouses got the kills they needed to get. So it was a good game overall. Mac with a couple misplays maybe, or miss EVs.
I'm looking at it now in game 1, and Mac got pretty unlucky. So of course the Dedenne nuzzles the Stoutland, paralyzing it. That is
loud.
You gotta click a replay and forget to turn the music off.
That wasn't me. That was someone else. Stoutland gets paralyzed by Dedenne. Then next turn, Stoutland gets crit by a Rock Slide from Necrozma. Then it gets paralyzed. Then next turn, Zekrom hits itself in confusion. So Mac kind of got
it was huge.
Mac got really unlucky there at the end. But no props to Mao. Mao played really well, especially in that set 3, I think.
Yeah, the game 1 entrainment was very cool.
Cheek pouch Zekrom.
Yeah, cheek pouch That girl had the cheeks this week.
Pause. Oh
Wait, hold
my
up.
god. Are we actually letting it slide? No, we gotta redo the entire podcast.
Okay, here we go. No, but one thing that I'm upset about.
On a Wednesday afternoon.
I was going to say, one thing I'm upset about is the fact that the replays don't show the wonderful drawings we had since this game was on the 1st of April. Showdown
That
had
is
some
true.
lovely icons for each Pokemon, including a very skinny Sceptile, which is the one that kind of sticks with me the most.
It was like
It's just a tree.
cancer patient.
We had G-Max Cinderace, which was Bunny on a bottle of Fireball. Which I found funny as well.
It's so sad that the replay didn't keep that.
It just went back to normal, so I was pretty upset about that when I went to get the screenshots for this podcast last night. I was like, oh, well, that's depressing. But yeah, that's all I pretty much have to say about this game anyway.
I like that he brought Machamp after Wex said Machamp could be good this week for stack.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm right. So what is good? Wait, what is bad for Ryder against me? Let me just see. I'll be back to some few minutes.
Ryder, you should totally bring this because I can't
Ryder,
counter at all.
drop your genius completely and just pick up. Let me see. What am I good against you? Regular Calyrex. Regular Calyrex is really good. So just
Get the Velton, regular Calyrex.
It just goes burr. So just pick that up instead. And we can talk.
I should have done that strategy. Instead, I was the punching bag for the new toys that he was able to pick up. Fun times.
GG's to Mal. Mac played well, and we've always hyped up his team, but he's had a little struggle session right now. But I think Mac will bounce back.
Yeah, Mac is tanking.
Return of the Mac.
Yeah, we'll have the return of the Mac.
He's tanking for his kid right now.
Yeah, he's tanking so he doesn't make playoffs, so he doesn't have to deal with his.
No!
When he's got him on the way and he's gonna play in the championship, he's just tanking now, so he avoids that conflict. All right, and our final game of the week was the first game to be played. The Gummy versus Harrison show was an interesting one.
Before we get into it, I just want to say thanks for not getting the replay, guys. Really appreciated.
It's because Gummy took too long. Gummy took way too long. Yeah, I think it was Rhydon and Moltres out in the field versus Kangaskhan, and I forget what the other mon was for Harrison.
I think they clicked the rock slide.
Yeah. So we had a lot of trouble getting the kills and stuff for this game. So thanks, guys. Hopefully next week.
Make it a lot harder. That's fine,
Hopefully it won't happen. Thanks. But anyway, into the actual game. One of you guys can kick it off.
It was unfortunate. It was just painful to see if you're cheering for Gummy there. It was, oh boy, I think, like I said before, I think it's 100% body slam. The paralysis that just came out every single time seemingly was devastating. It hurt to watch.
I think it was 4 for 5 for Paris.
It's
stupid. It's stupid.
There's 1 for 1. You guys continue and I'll look at this.
It's just instead of fake out mod for Kangaskhan, it should just be triple U mon. Make you enable to move mon. Para hacks. And pick your poison.
Parascan.
Literally Paris.
I think that's what Harrison said. Like in the tier discussion, I think he said Parascan S. Let me double check. Yeah.
Teleon was a decent bring this week because Gummy really tried to focus on Togekiss getting crits, and when Togekiss doesn't get those crits, things live. Like it definitely kills most things through max when it crits. But Inteleon lived one hit, and then it got rid of the Togekiss, and it Parahax proceeded to help Harrison control speed and win the game. It's just unfortunate. Gummy's prepped hard, and Gummy just hasn't.
So,
Nothing to show. Okay, let's get and back to Wex for live analysis.
The stats are: he clicked Body Slam 5 times in total. Once was into a max guard from Togekiss, but out of 4 ones that hit, three times it powered, and once it didn't against Articuno, and that is all. So a staggering 75% accurate para.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so Parahax on Body
That
Slam
rounds up to 100, right? That rounds up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jesus Christ. I mean, honestly, I think Harrison probably still would have had a great shot at winning the whole set. But, I mean, the paralysis, just pain. It's just pain. Because Gummy still would have had a chance if he doesn't get parried so much. He would have had a chance. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, Kev, Gummy preps hard. Like, we know this. We know he puts a lot of effort into this league. And I mean, I can tell, I can relate to that. Like, you prep so much. I mean, I can only really compare my loss to his 4, which isn't really, the same thing. But that sounds like I'm being a dick. I've been a dick this podcast. I'm sorry. But, when you prep hard and you still lose, and you spend like those hours like prepping, like, oh, okay, let's do this lead, let's try this lead, I'm gonna bring this, I'm gonna adjust this, I'm gonna do that. It hurts because it's like you put so much time, you put so much effort into something to try and get the result that you want, and it just doesn't come to fruition because, in Gummy's case, a 30% chance turns into a 100% chance. Essentially, it hurts. It's not fun to deal with. It is the game we play, obviously, with these being all rolls essentially, but it's not something you prepare for. It's just painful, and I mean, I can resonate with the feeling of spending time and then still not getting the results you want. On the bright side, though, he still has 2 points. He still has a really, I mean, for as low as he is on the standing sheet, he still has a fairly decent KO ratio, which has nothing to snuff. I mean, 26-35. That is, for being 13th, that is very good. That is very, very good, and that just speaks to how close the games have been and how, you could say unreasonably unlucky he has been.
Yeah.
It hurts. I feel for Gummy. I do.
I mean, he thrives in these situations, right? We're going to keep saying it one time, it will come through. Who's he playing next week? No.
You say it enough, it'll happen, but I think he has a chance of going 5-5. He has a good chance of going 5-5. I think.
Yeah, we got the battle of the basement, as someone coined it earlier.
I mean, it's not even trying to be mean. They're just 13th and 14th, respectfully. So it is what it is. It's just a nice, funny term to put on it.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, like Wex said, I think the winner of that game has a good shot of building some momentum and getting back into the swing of things, getting back into the conversation, the playoffs. Other than that, GG's to Harrison. Harrison's on a bit of a roll. 3-1, more wins than he had the entire last season. So
yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see Harrison doing well. I'm happy for him, truly. And I think, unless you guys have anything else more to say, I think it's time to announce the game of the week. I feel like I should do this personally because I did kind of go on a soliloquy about this. It is going to be Harrison versus Griffin. Harrison getting off to a really hot start, 3-1, and Griffin being, well, listen, Griffin, this is
Griffin needs.
This is the opportunity that if you win here, this will more than likely catapult you into a place where you could argue you could make top 6. Like, this is a very pivotal win if you were to get it, to really start bolstering that resume to push you up to the top 6 so you can even get a bye. That's where I feel like you could be. Your team, like, I look at your team, I feel like it's actually like really, really good. The Urshifu does so much damage. Talonflame is always a threat. Calyrex Ice, just Glacial Lance hurts so much. Like, your team, you could be top 6. And, like, I'm not ragging on you because I don't like you or I don't respect you. No. It's because you have this team that's super good. You built very nicely that has the opportunity to do so well that I just want to see it happen, and just a couple of misplays here and there. It's preventing you from reaching your full potential there. And I don't want to see that wasted potential. So please, like, this is a great opportunity. You know, Harrison's doing very well. If you win, it's a giant confidence booster. It's something you can always have with you, always rely on, and, you know, use as motivation. So use this as a stepping stool. Try your damnedest, build a great team for this week. I think you could definitely pull off a 2-0, especially versus Groudon, because you have one of the better answers to Groudon if you can find a way to mitigate Charizard, which is always going to be difficult. But yeah, but we'll go over team previews and predictions on another episode. But that is the game of the week, Harrison versus Griffin. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. This has been probably one of the longer episodes that we have. I don't know how long.
52 minutes long. It's not that long.
Oh, okay, that's not as bad as I thought. I went on a couple soliloquies, so I definitely extended the playtime a little bit. But
You think?
thank you guys so much.
You talk. That's what'll be the longest.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. This has been episode 93. Is it 93 or 92? No, I always say 90.
Yeah.
I always use a 3, don't I?
Yours is a 7.
Oh, yeah. Well, now it's episode 73 of the NDA podcast. It's somehow we reverted back. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Kev and Wex, for joining me today. And we'll see you guys next time on the Game of the Week and other game predictions episode. Catch you guys later. Peace out.
Thanks, guys. Peace.
See you guys around.